Anyway, in today's video, we are going to talk about blood glucose levels, the differences between being on a standard American diet versus on a ketogenic diet. So thanks so much for watching. I love sharing everything I've learned. If you are looking for tips and tricks, please subscribe below, or you can comment if you any feedback. Always love hearing from everyone. So like I said, in today's video, we are going to talk about blood glucose levels and kind of the differences between being on a standard American diet, which is very high in carbs, moderate proteins, and moderate fat, versus a ketogenic lifestyle, which is higher in healthy fats, moderate protein based on your body type, and lower in carbohydrates. So years ago, before doing the ketogenic diet, I got a blood glucose monitor. I had read a book and it was explaining some things about blood glucose, so I decided just to check, see where mine were at. And I found out really quickly my blood sugars went really high with stress, over exercise, eating too many carbs, and my blood glucose went really low if I didn't eat for a certain amount of time, if I, stress and all those things. So we want our blood glucose like a Goldilocks, not too high, not too low. So in a fasted state, so what I mean is, so if you wake up in the morning, you're fasted because you haven't eaten in whatever, 8 to 12 hours. If you check your blood sugars, they should be between 4 and 6, or like 3.8 and 5.8, or something along that. So maybe between like 70 or 100 milligrams, somewhere in there would be a nice fasted state. I used to wake up and be really lightheaded, not feeling good, and I would check my blood sugars, and instead of being like right around 4, they could sometimes be at like 2.1 and 2.3, and I did not feel good, and I had no idea for years why. And then when I started checking my blood sugars, I realized it was because my blood sugars were too low. So for me and for a lot of people, it's not 100% of the time, but a lot of the times, that can be a sign that your pancreas is making too much insulin. So I would eat like a high carbohydrate meal, and I still was eating fairly healthy for what I thought was healthy, but I would maybe eat at night sprouted bread, maybe even like whole wheat noodles, pasta with some sprouted garlic bread, and I would be very small on the amount of hamburger I would put in my spaghetti sauce. And we actually did add sugar to our spaghetti sauce, just a bit to sweeten it up, because I had no idea at the time how much damage that was doing to me. And I guess over time, and I had a ton of stress in my life, that was like exhausting my pancreas. So I was making so much blood sugar, so much insulin, it was pulling out more blood sugar than what it needed to and bring it too low. So then I would need to eat to feel good. And a lot of times I would eat like a lot of fruit. So I made a ton of smoothies with mangoes and pineapple and so it was just an orange juice and some yogurt and things. And so then I was spiking my blood sugar so I'd feel good again. Then my pancreas was pulling it out and bringing it down too low. So a few hours later, I'd have no energy again. So I was on this vicious yo-yo cycle. So once I started going keto, after, it was a long time, my blood sugar started regulating. And to this day, if I do get too stressed or exercise too much, I can still find my blood sugars going up and down too much. But I just keep kind of biohacking and checking. I did get the Libra style blood glucose monitor. So I think it's originally designed maybe more for like a type 1 diabetic. I got it, I put it on, I've done 2 different times for 2 weeks, and I can then see where my blood sugars are going. So it's just, you put it on your arm, and it comes with like this little tiny gadget that you can just scan over it, and it will tell you what your blood sugar's at. So it's really nice, and it kind of tracks it along. So I can see like during my sleep where my blood sugars have gone, during the day, if I exercise, where it's going when I eat. And it has really helped me to kind of understand foods that I'm intolerant to, overexercise, stress, what things do to my blood sugars. So it can be a really nice hack to just see what's going on in your body. But I think that for a lot of people, like the ketone blood strips are very expensive. So using glucose, if your glucose is at a nice, level all throughout the day, it probably means, like for me, it does really stay, because my blood sugars are usually between 3.8 and like maybe 4.8 or 5. So I know if I'm there that I am probably in a state of ketosis. So I don't have to check my ketone levels as often. It's not 100% accurate, but it's just really nice so you can see. So when we go keto, we're not using sugars for energy. So our bodies can make glucose. So you don't need to eat carbohydrates to make an amount of glucose that's a healthy range to stay sustained. So anyway, I hope that this did help. I personally find that it is a really good way to see why people aren't feeling good. I get people to check their blood sugars all the time, and once they can start regulating it, they feel so much better. So like I said, you don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. Between 4 to 6 or like 70 to 100 at a fasted state, and then after you eat, it obviously is going to go up a bit more, but you don't want it to go up too high, and you don't want it to go down too low. But it does take time. Give your body rest and really kind of play with things so it works for you. So anyway, that is my tips and tricks on glucose, and talk to you soon.